Maria, Maria, she remind me of a West Side Story.
And he was like acting weird and started panicking. He's like, I'm getting really freaking tired right now. I'm so tired and I need to pull over. I'm like, fuck, no, this guy better not pull over. I was looking at, what's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Sorry, excuse my ratchness right now. I look like a hot mess. I just got back from doing my eyelashes. Thank you and shout out to Antonella for doing them. BEAUTY&LASHCO. She does an amazing job. Make sure you check her out. I'll have her information down below if you're interested in these beautiful eyelashes. But anyhow, so last weekend I had another girls' night with my girls, of course. And we went partying. We went to dance at a club, Caramba, if you guys are familiar with that club. With that club, we went there and then we went to an after party. Basically, my girls, we all split up. And I stayed at the dance place to the end, and I didn't want to leave. I'm going to be switching the names on the characters or on the people that are in this because I don't know if they want me to be letting the world know who they are. But basically, let's just say my friend Jessica was there, and we stayed to the after party. Jessica lives in Salt Lake, and the plan was to stay there, and I was going to stay with her. All my other friends left, my sister had left, and I was going to stay there with my friend Jessica because I didn't want to leave. I was having a good time. And then also one of my friends, Max, was there too. So Max and Jessica were there, and they both live in Salt Lake. Got to a point where I got late, and I do have a daughter, so I wanted to go home, get some sleep so I could spend, you know, the day with her and not be tired or anything. So I was like, hey, Jessica, I'm going to go home. And she's like, no, you should stay, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, because I have to go back to my daughter. So she's like, hey, since she was going to stay there till it closed, which I don't know, I believe they closed around 7, I decided to leave. Before I start, I've been in an Uber before, once before this. It's not my first time in an Uber, so I was like, hey, I kind of know it's not that bad, whatever. But yeah, my friend Max was kind enough to call me in an Uber since I do live 30 minutes away from where we were to get home. So I was like, hey, so he walks me outside and we go to the Uber, and as soon as he opened the door, like, I had this really bad feeling. I don't know, like, you know when you have that gut feeling like something bad's gonna happen? I had that freaking feeling, you guys. As soon as he opened that little red Uber door, I don't know what car he was driving. I was a little bit tipsy, and it kind of sucked. I really didn't pay much attention to it. So yeah, I get in the car and we drive off, and the Uber driver just drives a little bit off from the street we were and then pulls over. And he's like, hi, how's it going? I'm like, okay, good, how are you? And not to mention I was wearing clubbing clothes, as in I was wearing a really cute dress, a short club dress. And this is my outfit. For today, I forgot lots of parts of my outfit at home, but it's okay. It's just a simple little dress. This time I didn't have a coat on top. The Uber driver pulls down the street, goes down that little street that we were in, and then pulls over. And he looks at me. And this whole time as I jumped in the car, guys, he was staring at me from that little mirror in the front. I don't know what the hell that mirror is called. I can't think right now of how, like, shocked I still am about this whole situation. But he was staring at me from that little mirror and then would turn around like every little second. And was like creeping on me. But anyways, he pulls over and he was like, all right, hop on the front. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, come in the front. He's like, hop on. And I'm like, oh no, I'm like me, you know, be nice, social. No, I'm fine back here. I'm safe, I'm fine, whatever. And I thought maybe he was being social, was trying to be nice, whatever. And he just turns around, he's like, what's so wrong about shotgun? Like, why don't you want to sit right here? And I'm like, and before this, let me back up, rewind here. When I got in the car, you guys, sorry, I just don't know where to begin with the story, so it's a little bit of a mess, and I'm still nervous and shocked that it happened, because I'd never had an experience happen like this before. So sorry, I'm talking a lot and I'm a little bit twisted. But before this part, let's pause right there, happened, let's rewind it back. When I stepped in the car or sat down, whatever, closed the door, and we took off, in that like 2 minutes before he pulled over, he asked me like, hey, if Max was my boyfriend? And I said no. I mean, I didn't say no. If Max was my boyfriend? And I said yeah. Just, you know, to make myself feel safe, I said yes. Yeah, that's my boyfriend. He's like, oh, cool, lucky guy. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, he's being nice. And he's like, either your boyfriend's really big or you're really tiny. And I was like, both. And then I was like, I'm really short. And he's like, how short are you? I'm like, 5 feet. And he's like, And then he'd look at me and turn around like this. And I'm like, yeah. So anyways, fast forwarding it back to the point that we paused. He was arguing with me that why I didn't want to go sit in the front seat. So I was like, because my boyfriend, I kind of got annoyed, and when I get annoyed, I get pissy. So I was like, because I'm fine in the back seat and my boyfriend would like me sitting in the front. I just don't feel comfortable. And he's like, right, sure, okay. And then we drive off and it gets a little bit awkward. I'm like, hey, I'm already feeling a bit like creeped out by this guy. He's acting like if he'd known me my whole freaking life. And then he's like, well, after that moment of silence, he's like, well, you're gonna have to keep me up somehow. Like, you need to keep me awake. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, because I have to drive you freaking far and I'm tired. And I'm like, the first thing I was like, what the is he talking about? Like, it's your job. Common sense. Like, if you couldn't come and you were sleepy or whatever, why did you come pick me up? I could have had another Uber driver drive me. And it's your job. So I was like, sorry, sir, but isn't that your job? And he's like, yeah, but you're really far and I need to stay awake. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, it's far. And he's like, it's all good. I'm like, hey. And so he's driving off and he's like, well, how are you gonna keep me awake? Talk to me or something. So I was like, okay. And I felt kind of like pushy and weird, and I just didn't know how to react at the moment, if that makes sense, because I'm just like, is this really happening? Is this, I was starting to get all these negative thoughts because I'm such a paranoid person that I started thinking like serial killer stuff, like, oh my god, you know, like thinking of how I'm gonna survive type thing. I don't know if it happens to you guys, but I was paranoid as hell, guys. So it starts getting a little bit more creepy, more interesting. We continue driving and I'm just trying to like start a conversation with him, like, oh, so how long have you been Uber, blah blah blah, do you like doing it? He says that he only works the weekend, yada yada, to a point that he says he's still staring at me, creeping through the window, and turns around every like 5 minutes, and he was like, so how old are you? And I'm like, oh, he's like, let me guess. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, well, if you're out clubbing, you must be around 21, little young one. And I'm like, no, I'm 23, close though. He's like, again, he did that creepy little, I'm just like, the fuck? I just try to think the best out of the situation. Everything like positive, butterfly rainbows, you know, whatever, yada yada. So then he's like, guess my age. He turns around, he's like, why don't you guess my age? And I'm like, I don't know, because the guy looked young. He didn't look super old. He looked pretty young, like early 30s. So I was like, you're gotta be like 30. And at this point it escalated quickly, and he turns on the light. Turns around, he's like, oh my gosh. And he was so happy, like a creepy ass face. And at that point I'm like, wait, he looks older, because the light was on. And then he's like, oh my gosh, I could just kiss you right now. I could just pull over and kiss you. And I'm like, I didn't know how to respond to that. So I was like, oh, like, what the fuck do I do? What the hell do I respond to that? And so I was creeped out at this moment. And I'm like, hey, I don't feel safe. I'm 911 just in case. This guy's being such a fucking creep. And he's like, I am so, like, that's a huge compliment, because I'm actually 40 years old, and to say that I look like in my early 30s, I could just kiss you right now, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh, again, okay, that's good. No, you look young. What do I do? What do I say? Help. Like, and it's like 5 in the morning, you guys. 0 cars on a Sunday night in Utah. 0 cars. The freeway's dark. There's a long way to go, and I'm just like, I want to get home. I want to go home. I want to go home. So he turns off the light and he keeps driving, and then he like keeps looking over, creeping, being a fucking total creep. And then I'm like, sir, eyes on the road, please. I was like, you keep turning around. And I was getting nervous at this point. I didn't know what to do, but I didn't want to like escalate him. And he's like, oh, you know what? And he was like acting weird and started panicking. He's like, I'm getting really freaking tired right now. I'm so tired and I need to pull over. I'm like, fuck, no, this guy better not pull over. I was looking at my surroundings. What do I grab? Like, what the hell do I do? Like, my heart dropped when he said I'm pulling over. I was like, I am gonna get killed. A bunch of things ran through my freaking head at that moment. He's a serial killer. Like, he's gonna kill me. He got mad. I don't know what the hell his problem is, because I told him to keep his eyes on the road. I don't know. I got onto him. I don't know. I just couldn't think. I was just like cold and like, so he started like, he didn't pull over all the way. He kind of like was driving off the side of that one emergency lane that you're supposed to stop if you get pulled over or whatever. He was driving on that really slow, and I'm like, no, don't pull over. And he's like, no, you're gonna have to scoot over back there because I need to take at least a 10-minute nap. And I'm like, no, sir, like, you have to do that after. Like, I'm your customer. You can't do that. I was like, I have to go. At this moment, I was like, I have a daughter to get home to. And at that point, his face was like, and he turned around. He's like, oh. And he thought about it. He's like, you have a daughter? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh. I was like, and she's waiting for me. I want to get home. I want to be there, please. She's waiting for me. And it looked like at this moment, he's kind of felt bad. Like the serial killer had a heart for a minute. And was like, okay, my next victim, whatever. I don't know. That's where my exact thoughts at that moment. I mean, come on. So I was kind of excited because he started driving again and was going like normal speed. And I was like, hey, like, we're almost there, please. And at this moment, I was like praying, I just want to get home. I want to get home safe. This never happened to me. Why is he being such a creep? Yeah, so we kept driving, and finally we're getting closer to the exit that I lived in. I'm like, yes, we're there. I'm gonna make it and be home safe. And at this point, you guys, don't judge me. I was not thinking, okay, I wasn't smart. My friend Max paid for the Uber, and he put in the address, of course, of where I live, of where I wanted to go. But at that reason, like at that moment, I wasn't thinking, I wasn't being like smart. I was just thinking of like not having him physically see where I live. And I obviously he had my address, you know, because Max gave it to him because that's where I was supposed to get dropped off at. And I live close to a gas station that's open 24 hours. I believe it was a Chevron. And so I'm like, hey, drop me off here. And then he pulls into the gas station. He's like, at the gas station? I was like, yeah. And he's like, this is not where you live. And he like chuckled. He's like, I'm like, obviously not, but you know. But anyways, I'm like, no, but I prefer like not to be dropped off at my house because I just feel uncomfortable. Like I feel more comfortable here. That's fine. Just, I'm like, pretty much, don't fucking ask me questions. Like, drop me off, period, leave. But yeah, so he's like, okay. And he pulls over like in front of the Chevron door. And I was like, I live just like right around here. Like it's a minute away. I could walk. Thank you so much. And then he like opens the door because I don't know if they're supposed to be locked or not, but he like unlocks the door. And I was like, hey. And as I'm like stepping out of the car, he's like, well, can I get a hug? I'm like, creep level 1000. Like, are you a kiss, a hug? What is this problem? This guy doesn't know me. Like, yeah, he could, I've got hit on by lots of guys before, but this guy could like be my dad. I don't know. Or like, he was just being a total creep about it. Like, if you want to get to know me, ask for my number, drop me off, do your job, then talk to me. But no, he's being total creep since like I got in the Uber. Tell me to sit in the front, tell me that he needs to go take a nap in the back. Like, who the hell does that? So at this point I was like kind of annoyed, and I'm like, no, bye, have a nice night, thank you. And I shut the door and I walk inside Chevron. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm like, huh, bye. You know, I basically look like Taquito with that gay guy that was being a creep. Have you guys seen the hot chick? Sorry, this is like out of subject, but I want to show you guys. And the hot chick where he's like, buzz off, you could go now, because the gay guy thought he was gay and he was interested in him, but in reality it was a girl stuck inside a guy's body. Here's a clip. And that's how I felt like. I'm like, bye. So I go into Chevron and I'm going in between the aisles and I'm just like kind of creeping, and I see him there. I'm like, what the hell is this guy's problem? Why is he still here? So I wait there a little bit and finally he leaves. And I wait there a little bit and then I see him get down. I see him get down. What do I do? I'm like, what does he want? No, I just don't think it's worse. Maybe he's coming to buy something. Who knows? Whatever. I'm not going to think bad about it. I come in. I go on the other side, like in between. There's like lots of little aisles in the gas station. You know, there's like probably like 4. I'm in between 2. He walks in. Like, here's the hall that I'm in. This is me. He walks this way. So if he turns his head that way, he will see me right here. Right there. He walked in and he looked at me. He looked at me, guys, and then kept walking and went around and then goes to the other side where I'm at. And then he goes, oh, hey, you again. No shit, me. Yeah, I haven't gone in here. You saw me walk in. What do you want? Of course it's me. Who else is it gonna be? What do you want? And so he comes and tells me, I just feel like I need to take you home. Because that's where Max told me to drop you off, and I don't feel safe that you go walking home alone. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, bitch, I am feeling safe anywhere but in the car with you. Like, get out. And I'm like, no, I feel fine. Like, it's fine. Don't worry. I'm gonna go home, and my boyfriend's on his way. Like, because I told him I don't feel uncomfortable, so he's coming. Like, you're good to go. And he's like, okay. And he gets back in the car, and I see him like pull out that way, and I'm just like, hey, I could leave now. Little did I couldn't see like out of the glass, the gas station's glass, you know, and he came kind of over here where the cement or the wall is of the gas station, so I couldn't see, and I thought he left. So I go outside and I'm like, fuck. And I start walking kind of fast. I'm like, hey, and then he busts as a you guys. At this point, I was pissed. I was pissed off, and I'm like, this guy, like, he literally wants to do something to me. He wants to hurt me. I'm calling cops. Like, screw this. I'm calling cops. Comes, pulls over, and rolls his window down. He's like, come in. I'm like, sir. Like, I didn't know how to talk. I was like stuttering out, like, sir. I was pissed at this point. Like, honestly, I feel uncomfortable. This is not professional. Like, you're not doing your job. You're being really rude and creepy. I have a boyfriend and he's pissed and he's on his way. And if you don't leave right now, I'm gonna call the cops. Like, you need to leave. You're making me feel uncomfortable. And he didn't say anything, and he just took off and left. He took off and left, and at this point, like, I literally lived like a minute down. And I made sure he was gone. I like booked it to my house. I got there super fast, and I got in and closed the door, and I stayed there, and I was like kind of in shock. Like, this kind of stuff only happens in like movies, or I don't know, in like crazy, I don't know, not in Utah. I'm like, what? At least not where I live, where like I've never had anything creepy like that happen to me with a stranger. You know, so I mean, I have had creepy things happen with strangers, but he made it like a serial killer type creepy. I have had other guys hate on me, like being stupid, like, oh, old man, like in their 50s, like, damn girl, blah blah blah, or like, hey mami, you know. And this guy, he's just un asqueroso de mierda, which means que era un loco, estaba enfermo. I'm sorry, like, está re loco, chiflado, which means he's crazy, you know, like, you could tell he was crazy. And he left, and I was just thinking about it, and I was like, I went to sleep. I even had like nightmares, because I'm like, what the hell, like, did this just happen? Like, that guy was such a creep, and I hope he doesn't creep anybody else. And I told my friend to give him a bad rating. I don't know, I kind of didn't know what to do in that point. I was just I was glad that I got home safe. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to share that story with you guys, because it's the freaking weirdest, craziest thing that has happened to me with a stranger, especially an Uber driver, where I thought I was in danger. My life was threatened. I thought I was in danger. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching my videos, and I hope you guys like it. If you guys have any crazy weird stories that are similar to mine, I definitely want to know about it. And down below your opinions and what you would do in that situation, because honestly, people will say do this, do that, but when it's happening in the moment, you don't think of any of that. You're just like, are you kidding me? Is this real right now? Really? But yeah, guys, thanks so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy story that happened to me last weekend. And make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already a subscriber, then make sure you subscribe right. So I'm gonna put it right here. Subscribe right here, and make sure you turn the bell. You click on the little bell. That way you'll get notified every time I post a video. Don't miss out on my videos. I will be posting 1 to twice a week. Guaranteed at least 1 video a week. So make sure you guys don't miss out on that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Bye guys.